Well, we are getting ready to put a PTO on this. I've got oil drained out of the transmission. I'm just kind of letting that drip down. I do have a, it's a rebuilt PTO that I'm putting on this. One that came off of the C5. Had it upstairs on the shelf. I think I've got 2 other PTOs up there. And I figured rather than buying any new stock, we would put the used one on there. However, the inner components of it are all brand new. So from the outside, it looks like a used one. But the inside's all brand new is what I'm getting at. So I'm getting ready to mount the tank now. I'm having a slight problem on where I'm gonna put this tank, or how I'm gonna mount it. I can mount it, I'm gonna mount it right here. However, it's gonna push this tank mount up a little higher than what it should be. I can't cut the top off, but we're just gonna have to drill another hole in here and just mount it that way. What I want is I want the tank symmetrical, if you will, the same height as the fuel tank. So we've got to get the mag drill over here, drill it, get it mounted into place, and then by then the transmission should be dripped down to nothing by then, and then we can put the PTO on and the pump and whatever, and then we'll get work back here, make our bracket and so on for the valve body. So that's what we're working on right at the moment. Alright, so we have 8 of our holes drilled, and we've got both brackets that hold that hydraulic oil reservoir. We've got them bolted to the frame. Now, it looks as though this tank is just a touch higher than the fuel tank, but when we load it, it's going to settle a little bit, and the hydraulic oil reservoir is just a little bigger in diameter than the fuel tank. So we tried to split the difference there, and it just is what it is. So if we had leveled the top of the tank to come up with the fuel tank, you'd probably see it down in below. We're just going to leave it the way it is. So I have to put a little foam wrap on the mount itself, on the front one and the back one, and then we've got some rubber to put over on the outside of these clamps. I'm gonna have to take the fuel tank, or the hydraulic oil reservoir. I'm actually gonna have to mount it backwards, or not mount it backwards, but we're gonna have to start with it this other way. And what I'm gonna have to do is put the fittings into the tank with it setting out on this side so that I got a way to hold the tank in place in order to put the fittings in. On this tank, the sump in this tank comes out the other side in the center. Instead of having a bung on either end, this tank has got it right in the center and underneath. And you could see if we had a bung in there on the front side, we would have to step the tank back from the fuel tank, and there is a air tank mounted right there, and they have given us just enough room to mount this tank just the way we have it. So earlier I explained to you the reasons why we bought this truck. It was kind of one of them things where I needed it, but I didn't. Again, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this truck. I might sell it, I don't know. This truck came out of Canada. The C5 came out of Canada. Truck 13 come out of Canada. I've bought some trucks out of Canada in the past. This was sight unseen. The C5 was sight unseen. However, me and Jared flew out to Montana and they brought that across the border in Sweetgrass, Montana, which is, it's maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles. It might even be closer than that to Welkers, but I didn't know who they were at the time, and had I known that, we probably could have stopped in there and visited with them. Some of you have commented that this truck is similar in color, or it is a truck that is from one of the trucking companies in the area. It's not. This truck come out of Canada. Terpening that delivers fuel around in the area, they have trucks this same color, but it's not a fuel delivery truck. When I bought this, they had told me that when it comes time to bring this through customs, it has to spend 30 days, or it's going to be tied up with customs for 30 days, and you're not going to see it, you know, for quite a while. Anyway, I actually didn't get this truck for 60 days after I bought it, and for a short time there, I was wondering if there wasn't maybe some fraud going on. You know, you kind of worry about that thing with sending wire transfers out and whatever else, wiring money and whatever. You check the background of these people and you think you're dealing with an actual business, but everything worked out perfect. And yes, they were a little late getting it here, but it had to do with the delivery company. They were just low on personnel and whatever, and it just took them a little longer to get this delivered here. The truck is in actually better condition than what I thought it was originally in from when it was going through the auction deal there. They took maybe, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60 pictures. The auctioneer company, they ended up doing a live, it was like a FaceTime video thing where they walked around the truck, they started it, they drove it, they got the camera up close to anything that I wanted them to show, and there wasn't anything hidden on this truck. When I got it, I knew what kind of condition the tires were in. I knew what the cab interior was like. I knew basically everything about the truck, and it ended up being in better condition than what I seen it was like in the pictures. So this is where we're going to sign off with this video. In the next video, we'll actually have this, we'll show you the final fit up of this tank, and then we're going to roll in underneath it. We're going to mount the PTO. Tim stopped at Fleet Pride today, got the pressure switch that'll turn, it'll close the circuit for lighting up the light. We've got to get that in there. This is a used PTO, however, everything is brand new on it. So with that being said, that is gonna do it for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you at the next video.